But, that's the not so glamorous part, I think, of people that start a business in their home. It's like, well, that's so romantic sounding. But the reality is we had to put all of our furniture into storage. We had nowhere to park our cars, and we ruined our carpet because wax sticks to the bottom of your feet and you track it everywhere. So
no.
Yeah. So, those are the things that, people don't talk about. Like, that's so amazing, all this growth that you had. And you're like, oh, our house.
And then you tear out your carpet. You get out of there and redo it.
Where do you find a family of communities connected by the storied Mississippi River, where young explorers and dreamers, investors and entrepreneurs thrive? Where can you connect with real people living and creating in a place that's as genuine as it is quirky? QC. That's where.
Welcome to QC That's Where. I'm Katrina, your host. I'm here today with Jennifer and KC Cupp, the owners of Buttercupp Candles, 3 locations in the Quad Cities. How are you guys?
We are so good. Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Thank you for being on. I find it really fun to talk to business owners and entrepreneurs like yourselves, because I have a hard time putting myself in your shoes, because opening a business has to be one of the most stressful things that you can possibly do. But, the business you guys are in, candles, enjoyment, kind of holistic relaxation, it probably helped to counteract any of the stresses that came upon the starting of the business. So Tell me how you guys got started.
So kind of going back a little ways, we've kind of always been entrepreneurs. So that's one thing that we always like to say is, some people are like, oh, you've grown so fast, but really we've been entrepreneurs for most of our marriage. So this isn't really new to us, but candles are new to us. So I had a photography studio for 13 years, and Casey was a really big part of like all of my set building and design and everything. So together, we've always been a creative couple, and we've always made things together. And so when I closed that, a few years later, we opened a little shop in Milan, and it was all local, makers, artisans. And I knew I wanted my store to smell good. And so we looked for candles, and I couldn't find any that were made in the Quad Cities that they could make me more than like 5. So he said, surely we can figure this out. We can make candles. You make everything. And, we do that together.
I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon and screwed it all up.
They were not good.
They were horrible. And
so then when we closed that shop, I was cleaning out a closet, and I came across the candle stuff again. And I thought, I've got a little more time now. Maybe I can figure this out. And so I just did a ridiculous amount of research and learning, and ordered new supplies, the right kind of supplies. And that's kind of how it started from there.
That's amazing. Like, it was kind of like you were solving your own problem, and it led to a business endeavor. Yeah. So you guys have been married for 20 plus years?
27 years.
27 years. Congratulations. Being in business together, it sounds like you guys have been working in different, industries, so to speak, for a long time. What is it like, being in a relationship, starting a business, being at work together every day? How is that going?
So we got married super young, and I think we got just super, so we know each other really well. And I think we just got lucky too, because like we balance each other very, very well. So she has strengths that I don't have, and I have strengths that she doesn't have. And so we know our lanes. Obviously there's days where those lanes cross, and there's tension and all that stuff that's in any business and marriage. But for us, we just know where our strengths are, and we balance each other very well. So yeah.
So what was your background? You just mentioned that you helped with like photography sets. What was your kind of, direction before you got here?
For me, I was a pastor for 20 years. And I also worked bivocationally. So I was working full time, and at the same time pastoring. We were in smaller churches. So in order to make ends meet and take care of my family, I also worked. So I started actually in construction when I was 18. And from there branched off, eventually started my own construction company while I was pastoring. And then in the midst of that, just being a business owner, knowing leadership development, I started a consulting company out of that. And then when I left pastoring to consulting for businesses and nonprofits, at the same time she was doing photography, And that's something I actually still do today, but obviously this is our dominant money maker for our business.
Yeah.
But those pieces, it's amazing how the things that, like, just like with her, with being creative and photography and learning systems for photography, all those things just became this potpourri mix of things that we have learned that we brought to this. So as far as figuring out systems and processes to run a business, it kind of just, it was already there when we started this. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you like already kind of had the foundation
yeah.
built and ready to go. Have you guys always been in the Quad Cities?
Yeah, born and
Yeah.
raised.
Okay.
I grew up on the Iowa side. She grew up on the Illinois side, met on the Illinois side and stayed over here. So,
Okay. And you ventured out into Iowa for some of your Buttercupp locations. Talk about your locations and how they differ from one another.
yeah.
You want me to talk about? Okay. So we started in Moline. That's our original location. That's where we make everything. Right now, we have totally outgrown this building. So we're actually in the process of looking for a new one. But then from here, what we decided was it's a destination location. So we're on Avenue of the Cities. And so there's no foot traffic. You have to be coming here for a reason. There's not a lot of parking. And we just didn't realize how much people would really enjoy coming to the store. And we also offer that you can make your own candles. And so when we realized how many people really wanted to be here, we decided to go out to LeClaire, which is also in Iowa, and make it's just more of a little shopping town. It's just really, really cute on the river. And we knew that there would be a lot of foot traffic and a lot of tourism there. And so we've loved being there. And that went so well for us that we decided, well, where's another kind of a tourist destination that's nearby? And for us, that was at the Betplex out at TBK in Bettendorf. You got lots of families coming in for sports for the weekend, give them something to do while they're there.
So I've had the pleasure of being to two of your locations. I was at your Moline location, I want to say about a year ago, doing some like behind the scenes filming of the making, which was really cool. The whole, like room of the process with the wicks and the oil pouring, and I don't know any of the lingo, so forgive me, but I'm just wow, I got it down. I nailed it. But it was really nice to see and kind of be part of for a few minutes. And then over at your LeClaire location, do you make candles over in LeClaire, or is it just Moline?
We only manufacture here,
Yeah.
but you can come in and make your own at that location.
Right. Okay. So your LeClaire location, I think this is worth noting. So the building that you're in is kind of a quad. You're in with 3 other retailers, and the building itself is like, what is it, a century old plus something? Yeah. It's been completely renovated, redone, reimagined. It's just really, it's got a lot of history and a lot of passion behind, I think, the reconstruction of it. So definitely highly recommend from a personal standpoint to go out there and check it out. So the candle making tutorials that you guys offer, what do you guys see as far as like, clientele who come in? Is it residents? Is it visitors? A mixed bag? What's typical?
About it. So what we were hoping for, as far as like, you always ask the question, what's your target market, what's your target demographic or whatever. And for us, we knew that this would be a process that we could help a lot of Quad Cityans enjoy. It's kind of for everybody. And obviously maybe candles aren't for everybody. We're not trying to reach everybody, but that experience, it's grandma and grandpa's bringing their grandkids. It's date nights. It's teenagers having a hangout and date nights. I mean, it just covers every gamut. And with being able to make candles and lotion, it just gives people a lot to do. And again, we tell people it helps them, relax and enjoy life while you're walking around LeClaire and looking for something fun to do, and then go get dinner and shop a little more. It's just neat to be able to offer that to the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
Offering something like that is super helpful, like from our standpoint too. So like at Visit Quad Cities, we're, kind of the hub of information for what to do when people come through our doors at one of our destination centers. What do I do? I'm from out of town. Being able to offer them a suggestion, like going over to Buttercupp Candles, depending on their interests, to learn how to make your own candle and walk away with something today, is really nice. And it's just helps to enhance the quality of life and quality of place that the Quad Cities is offering more and more. to everybody who's here across our whole region. So, thank you for being part of that, improvement here. I mean, I think it just really shows how much more of a like booming destination the Quad Cities is becoming. And it's thanks to, activities like that you offer. I was reading some of your reviews on your Facebook page, and I found one that was really cool. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. It was from 2021, but it was a girl who was visiting from, she was visiting the Quad Cities. She clearly didn't live in either Illinois or Iowa. She was out of state. And they came and they were making candles. And then she said, we realized we didn't have time to finish the project. But I don't remember which one she said. It was one of you. You said, it's okay, we'll finish it for you and we'll ship it to you. And it just meant so much to her that you guys went that, extra step, and you said, we got you, don't worry, get on with whatever you had to go do. And they appreciated it enough to like post a picture of it when they got it and write you guys a review. And it's that little touch that I love. And I think people really like cherish from the Quad Cities. They come and they have experiences, and then they remember things like that, the interpersonal, like extra touch that somebody offered.
Yeah, those things mean the world to us. They really do, because for us, we love it here. We love the Quad Cities. We were just talking, I think, with Dave, that we love, we traveled down south, and it just made us fall in love with the Quad Cities even more, because just like, man, there's just so many great things to do here. And so to add value to somebody's life that's visiting, it's just, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And we just want to treat people how we would want to be treated. We've all gone somewhere and had a bad experience. And so we work really hard with our team to not get so locked into like, what are our policies and what are, we always tell our team to use your best judgment, make sure that they're having a wonderful time and do what you need to do. We give you the freedom that if you feel like, somebody comes in and they're having a horrible day or they've just lost a family member, like if you really feel, make them feel special, give them something, do something for them, make them feel special. So I think that's a huge part of just who we are. And we hope that we've spread that to our stores too.
Yeah, it's clearly being received. It's being received that way, and people are noticing. It is coming upon market season. I know you guys get really busy at specific times of the year. So talk to me about what's going on with, your travels, and you're in the Frey House Farmers Market year round, not just seasonally, but talk to me about that.
We talk about Yeah, so we travel within a 3-hour radius, although we're expanding that this summer. We are going to be in a weekly night market in Green Bay. So we will actually be traveling to Green Bay every Thursday.
We'll be at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, so we're super excited about that. That's the farthest that we've ever gone. But otherwise, we do markets in a 3-hour radius. And then during market season, which starts in about April, and then it'll last until November. We'll have a few in December, but for the most part, it ends right around the holidays. But we try to do at least one market every weekend. Sometimes we do 2, depending on, where they're at and if we can divide and conquer. But we pretty much go all over and do lots. And if we can do one on a Saturday and another on a Sunday, we do that too. So it's a lot.
That's been foundational too for us, of really just being able to be with people and hear instant feedback of how they're engaging with our products. And then same thing with the farmers market. We just love it down there. Just being able to hear, hey, we really love this. We wish you had this. And we meet a lot of boutiques when we go to these events that end up carrying our products in their stores.
Oh yeah.
Make a lot of regional relationships that are great. So
and you travel to Rockford, you said also?
This weekend is Urban Farm Girl in Rockford, and then the weekend after that we'll be in Tipton, Iowa. That's Good Makers Market, and both of those are amazing.
Just a blast.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Fun. Yeah.
You guys are a family of 5. You have 3 kids.
Yes, we do, and we have a grandbaby on the way.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes.
So excited. Yes, we are a total family business. We have our 3 kids. One of them works with us, and then our son-in-law also works with us. He does the majority of our production, and then our niece and nephew work with us full-time as well. So we're definitely a family business.
Did you intend to be a family business, or was it just, did it kind of work out that way as you expanded, I guess?
We don't push
Yeah.
our kids. I mean, we love it. And like our daughter's a full-time artist, so
Mhm.
we're not gonna like pressure her, drag her
Mhm.
into this. Our other daughter's going to college, getting her master's right now. She has something she's super passionate about. So we didn't want to like
Yeah. And
make
we-
them do something they don't want to do.
No, and we've had some great people that work for us. Our friend Kara worked
Yeah.
for us for just a year and a half, and she's not family, but she's
Yeah.
just dynamite. But we always encouraged our team too, and encourage our kids that if you have a passion inside of you to start your own business, we want to be the first ones to know about it, because we want to help and we want to
Mhm.
see you successful. And that was the thing with Kara. She's in the midst of launching her own business, and so we like when she came and told that to us, we're like, we want to be your biggest cheerleaders. How do we help? Same thing with our kids or our daughter with her art business because we want to see people go farther, faster than we have. So,
Yeah.
It's probably helpful too, the kids growing up kind of with parents who are entrepreneurs and, kind of have your feet in different fields, I guess, throughout the years. It's nice to see firsthand how it's done and, what to do and how to handle challenges that come your way. It's probably the best kind of education you can get.
yeah.
We live in kind of a entrepreneurial bubble at our house. Somebody always has a new business idea, a new marketing idea. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
much like if you come over to our house, that is all we're talking about.
We
Like,
just talk about it constantly. Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah.
business, somebody idea. Yeah.
It's fun.
So in store, do you have like a favorite, is there a favorite scent or a favorite thing that people kind of gravitate to that you have to
Yes.
just make more and more and more of?
Yes.
Saturday morning cereal. I'm gonna grab it. Saturday morning cereal has been our bestseller for a long time. We think it's possible this year that we're actually gonna, for the first time, I think in 3 years, see that tipped by lilac blooms. That is
Okay.
impressed. But Saturday morning cereal smells like your favorite breakfast cereal. That has been our absolute bestseller, hands down.
Yeah. So
for 3 years.
this is time and time again amazing.
Yeah.
Then this is our lilac, which people just love. It's a very true lilac.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of this one.
It's very
And then
Midwestern.
our new summer scent is my new favorite. I talk about it constantly. It's like my new grandbaby
Yeah.
is summer mimosa. And this one,
That's our current bestseller for summer.
it's doing amazing and it's very exciting. So,
Yeah.
I'm a lilac fan myself, so I've probably helped tip the scale on that.
Love
Saturday morning cereal, you just got to hit the nostalgia that
Yeah.
people want to recover,
And
Yep.
they're very true to sense. That's something that a lot of people have said that they like about us, that you smell it and you know immediately what that scent is. We don't have very many that people are like, what is this? So I think
Yeah.
that helps.
So a moment ago, for people who are listening, not watching the video version, so Casey was just holding up the 3 different products, and I want you guys to talk about your logo. There's something significant about the floral design in
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
So the Buttercupp flower has 5 petals, and we have 3 kids. So those 5 petals represent our family. And so Buttercup, the word is misspelled on purpose because our last name has 2 P's. So you'll see
cup.
Buttercup, it'll be for cup because our last name's Cup. So
Yeah.
So Buttercup has gotten me on autocorrect. Actually, I'll tell you this, Jennifer. So I was at Buttercup in LeClaire. I don't know if you saw me. I was the crazy running around videotaping everything because we had like a conference for tourism there, and so everybody was
yes.
shopping and I'm
Yes.
taking video, and I tried to post some stuff on social media about the 4 stores and Buttercup, and it auto corrected me, and I didn't realize it before it got published, and I'm like, oh no, I knew it had 2 P's, and it just put it right out of
happens
there.
all the time.
All the
That's
time.
okay.
We don't get
Yes.
offended. We know
Yeah.
it's happened. We're okay with it.
Yeah, I figured you'd be easygoing about it, but I was like, darn it, that's not right, So through the years, I mean, all the things you guys, problem solving and ideas and new growth, like, do you have a highlight moment that you could share with us?
Do we slow down to enjoy the highlights? No, I'm
we
kidding.
do. Yeah, this might sound cliche, but it's like we're very much so like enjoying the moment,
Yeah.
of like today. It's just like there's always success, there's always great successes, but if you you wake up and you got breath in your lungs and you get to go to work another day and, enjoy what you're doing. I mean, that's a big thing for us of really relax and enjoy life. That whole statement of like, what can we do today to help people do that? Obviously, the explosion of our business has continued to
I think it was just
shock us.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, the highlight was when we outgrew our home, because we started in our home. We started on our little kitchen island, and then we grew to the basement and the whole basement and then the garage. Like, it was this whole thing. And so when we got this building, at the time, it was more space than we needed. And so we were like, you know what? There's room in the front to have a store.
This will last a few years.
Yeah, like, let's put a store
It
there.
did.
Well, and so we didn't know
Yeah.
if anybody would come and shop here. We're like, they could get us at the farmer's market. Why would they come to our store,
Yeah.
And so when people actually started coming and they loved the experience of making their own candle, and we were like, oh, they like us, they're going to come to our store. I think that was a highlight. And now we've totally outgrown this building. So
Yeah.
To this spot during
COVID, things were
so
still shut down.
we had the retail area built out before we could actually open it.
Yeah.
So we were just manufacturing and shipping everywhere, just like waiting for the time for when people could come in. So
Yeah.
Yeah, to set foot in. So you're at 3 locations now with the traveling to markets. I mean, is this like are you stopping here for a moment, or are you gonna expand any
You asked
further?
me- Yes.
I always keep my ear to the ground and my eyes open.
Sure.
Here's what I think. You don't ever want to shut down opportunity. So I'm always looking for opportunity, but this is where we balance each other very, very well. Is I'll have this pie in the sky idea of what we need to do next, and she's the hole poker in a great way of just like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? So, and those are things, early on, those are things that 20 years ago, that's frustrating because I just want to go. And then today in my
fun hater.
but like in my wisdom in learning and becoming wiser and older, it's just like so now that's a huge part of how we make decisions in our business. If I really sit down, okay, you poke holes in this idea, and 90% of the time you start with an idea and what comes out the end is we need to wait on this, or this isn't the right timing or whatever, but it's a great balance. But I'm always looking for ways to expand and grow. But you have to do that with caution and calculated risk rather than just running crazy. So
Sure. No, that
Yeah.
makes sense. And take me back. We glossed over this, but it sounded exciting. When you guys very first started the candle making process, you said you bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon. You brought it into your home. Something failed. You
Yeah.
tried it again. So
that was me.
What?
I failed.
what did that look like? Were you self-trained? Did you seek out any kind of tutorials or?
I'm a big proponent, and I've always been this way, that I don't know what we did before Google, that there's really about nothing that you can't Google and find the answer to. Now, with that, you still have to do your own trial and error. Candle making is a science. And so for us, there's still is dialing in and figuring out our recipe. There's a ton of testing that goes into it. But initially,
And a lot of ways to make a candle, a lot
There's
of
a lot
different
of-
ways to make
yes.
a candle. So even though we have a soy candle, there's a lot of different ways to make one.
right.
So
And the thing with, like going back to how we said, we've done so many different things together that we were able to kind of fail faster, if that makes any sense. But by doing all that research ahead of time, it saved me a lot of testing and all of that, because I knew exactly what kind of candle I wanted to make. I didn't have to buy 6 different kinds of wax. I knew we live in the Midwest, it's going to be soy. If you make anything other than soy in the Quad Cities, you're in trouble. People here expect soy, but other parts of the country, people don't actually care, but they care a lot here. So, by making some of those decisions ahead of time, it kind of helps me kind of really fast forward that testing process.
Yeah. And one of the other things that we learned early on is like when we were going into Buttercupp and thinking through how do we scale? How do we want to scale?
Mhm.
And I think this is a mistake that a lot of new entrepreneurs will make is like, oh, I need to get a building. I need to get the shiny new truck, or I need to spend all this money. But our goal was to keep our overhead costs down as much as we possibly could. I can remember, literally went from our kitchen. I said, we need to clear out our family room. We got rid of all of our furniture in our basement. made room there, and then we needed more room. We cleared out our garage and made sure had HVAC that was climate controlled and moved to there, all to keep that overhead cost down. And then only when we absolutely had to go to this building did we make that move.
At the point when it starts slowing you down, that's when it's time, or like when it starts costing you money to be there, you're losing out on opportunities that you can't do because you're out of space. But, you know, that's the not so glamorous part, I think, of people that start a business in their home. It's like, well, that's so romantic sounding. But the reality is we had to put all of our furniture into storage. We had nowhere to park our cars, and we ruined our carpet because wax sticks to the bottom of your feet and you track it everywhere. So
no.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are the things that, you know, people don't talk about. Like, that's so amazing, all this growth that you had. And you're like, oh, our house.
And then you tear out your car, you get out of there and redo it. Yeah.
Well, and it was during COVID. So all of our kids were home because there were no schools. So all three were at home all the time. Like, there were all of us in the house all the time.
And our first employee was my son-in-law, Tristan. So he would come over and we'd sit and have coffee in our house in the morning, talk about the day. And then we would all go to the basement or go to the garage and start working.
Yeah.
So
you guys have to be experts now on how to get candle wax out of X, Y, and Z house material.
You just throw it away.
You light it on fire and run.
You put new hardwood in. That's what you do.
The best smelling mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I do miss making candles in our house.
Yeah.
Our house smelled incredible, and our neighbors, because again, this was during COVID, so everybody was outside taking walks, and they'd be like, what are you doing in there? Because you could smell it all the way out to the street.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To the road, people would walk by like it just smells like whatever.
What are you doing in there?
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
So house full, big family. What do you guys do outside of business? What do you enjoy in the Quad Cities?
We go on dates and experience other businesses, and then we talk about, that's a great idea, we should do, you know, that's what we do.
I like, personally, I'm a runner, so I do run a lot, so we love that. But
I do art. I have an art
she
hobby.
loves to paint, so those two, that'd be our hobbies, I guess. But then 90% of our time is, you know, we love to go, like she said, go on date nights and try new places, but then we're always just chit-chatting about.
We love to go out of town to experience other small businesses and see, like, what is this community doing that we can bring that back into our community. That's something that we do all the time. Yeah.
And being entrepreneurial, like we love candles. We love our candle company, but also candles isn't the only thing that we love, you know, and that's like with business opportunities, when you're entrepreneurial, when you know that you can answer a pain point for someone or answer a problem for somebody
or fill a need
or fill a need
in your area.
That's when going back to that idea conversation, I'm always looking for ways, where's the pain points and how can we help people? And sometimes it's not us helping someone. Sometimes like, hey, we have this idea. We know so-and-so will be great at that, and we can help them launch something or do something to help some people relax and enjoy life in another way. So
on that note too, I mean, since, you know, you both have, you know, grown up and, you know, come full circle in the Quad Cities. I mean, I bet you that's expanded your community of, you know, people that you can, you know, invite in to, you know, to share in your candles. You know, like you said, just help reach out to other business owners or, you know, the next generation that wants to kind of follow in your footsteps. I mean, you've got those really strong, long lasting relationships here in the QC, which is really great. I mean, that Visit Quad Cities, I mean, that's one of the things that we do too, is just like the puzzle of, okay, people grow up here, and how do we keep them here? And how do we, you know, help them achieve all of their dreams here? You know, and it is possible. You guys are a testament to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah.
What do you guys find, if you can name, you know, one or two things, what do you guys find that, like, when you're out in other cities, experiencing other businesses, other towns, like something that the Quad Cities comparatively does well? And if you've got something that the Quad Cities could do better at when you're, you know, seeing other cities do things differently.
One of the things that we wish the Quad Cities had is a great indoor with outdoor food hall.
Yeah.
like a great food hall, kind of hangout area.
Kind of a place where it's an incubator for small businesses.
Yeah.
Like maybe you start out with a food truck, and then this is a way, it's kind of that halfway step between a food truck and a restaurant.
Yeah, so the farmers market, that's kind of their vision. That's one of the things we
Yeah.
love about the farmers market, with bringing in food trucks or other vendors to those tents. But like whether it's Nashville, whether it's St. Louis, Wisconsin, Michigan, other places that we've been to, these food hall, they're just neat spots.
We always look for a food hall first, because simply because it's such a fun way to experience several businesses under one roof and different kinds of foods, because we do get so many ideas off of different businesses. So when we go to a city, you can maybe go to one restaurant or two, depending on how long you're going to stay there. But when you go to a food hall, you can experience all of these different flavors from that city. And it really like kind of lets you see the vibe of that city. So I do wish we had something like that here for sure.
Yeah.
But what we're doing well, I would say, just I think that we do a really nice job of capitalizing on the river and just what a welcoming community. There's things to do outside, there's things to do indoors. And so
we do a really good job of connecting both sides of the river together.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think is great, whether it's the Quad City Marathon or the Bix or these big events, Reg Bri coming here, which David and I talked about, we talked about on the podcast, just really good things to connect both sides of the river. I think that's huge. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. And we were talking too with Dave, just saying how, it used to be that maybe there would be one thing going on. Well, now you have the problem, the good of having to choose which event are you going to go to. And so I think that's something that we do really well here too, is just different festivals and different things that you can be a part of and participate in and go to. So I think we're doing that really well.
You're so right.
Yeah. And I what I really love too is I think that a lot of the businesses in our community do a really good job at cheering one another on.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the things we notice consistently of just, hey, you need to check this out. You need to check this out. Did you see what so-and-so did? And it's just good.
We always believe that there's room at the table for everyone. And so I think that's been a huge thing for us, is just the Quad Cities. They cheer on makers, they cheer on small business owners and small businesses. They just, I don't know, they just support them so well. And so I think that's something that there's none of that petty competitiveness. Not to say that there isn't any, I guess, but for the most part, we don't bump into that. Everyone's really, comes around you.
That's definitely something I've heard from multiple business owners, that there is just that like celebration of each other, a lending, a helping hand, when something goes awry or not. I mean, just that you guys are all sharing the space and you recognize and value the fact that like the shared space makes it bigger and more attractive to newcomers. And I've definitely heard that same sentiment. So it's something that like we're very happy to be able to point to that visit Quad Cities, that our local makers, we celebrate and we have such variety, and they're all here to like help and support each other. So that's really awesome. Great point on that. And I also wanted to ask you guys, so when you're in production and, you're busy, you've got, maybe a big event coming at, you've got maybe like Mother's Day or Christmas or something coming up. I mean, how do you guys like divide and conquer as far as, just back of house production versus customer service and providing that vibe that you want to help share?
This is where we kind of fall into our strengths. So his strength is admin and my strength is making. I love being back in production. Like if you never saw me anywhere else again, I would be so happy back there. Whereas he does really well front of the house, admin, that kind of thing. And so it's very much, we have a solid team and everybody kind of knows their.
Yeah. And I think a key point too, is we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. And so for us, a big piece for us is the systems that we have in place. I mean, I'm just knowing that you stay in that structure. And if you have those systems, even though, any new boom in business or uptick always causes some kind of chaos that you then have to put into some sort of system to get organized and then make happen. So for us, the systems that we have in place, those SOPs, standard operating procedures, that you're making sure that this is what's happening on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. And obviously those are parameters. There's always chaos in some way, shape, or form in what we're doing.
Yeah, the farmer's market flooded, and so it's like, oh, scramble, we have to pull out of there, and then we have to go back in. And so, there's always stuff that comes up. But this year has been an amazing testament just to our team and solidifying those processes. Like personally, I was out for surgery for a long time. We had a death in the family. We've just had different things. And so our team was able to step right in and cover for us because they didn't come in on a Monday morning and wonder, gosh, how do we keep going? You know what I mean? Like they just knew exactly what to do. So
yeah. And even from the fact that, we do have family, but all of our family also, no matter who it is that we hire, they go through the same hiring process that we have in place, which really helps us vet culture and vet their personality versus how they work. And those are key pieces too. But doting on our team's fantastic. And one of the things they really have the ability to do is to be able to pivot and make quick decisions. And that's kind of giving them that freedom, saying, hey, what do we need to do to make this happen? And it's just because something is chaotic doesn't mean it's not an opportunity to learn and grow and make something happen.
Well said. I, at this point, would like to throw it to each of you to end this podcast with a QC That's Where fill in the blank. So whenever you're ready, QC That's Where.
QC, that's where you relax and enjoy life.
QC, that's where you melt, enjoy, repeat.
I love it.
Cheesy. So cheesy.
Thank you so much. How can people find you on social media?
So we keep it easy. It's just Buttercupp Candles, and just remember it has 2 P's. So it's Buttercupp Candles on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook.
ButtercuppCandles.com.
Yeah.
And don't let the autocorrect get you.
Right.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thank
you.
Thanks for listening to QC That's Where, a podcast powered by Visit Quad Cities. Text Visit QC to 38314 for insider events, activities, and updates sent straight to your phone. That's VISITQC, one word, to 38314. Message and data rates may apply.